What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. My name is Myles with Holiday World out of Dallas, Texas, and we just got in a brand new 2023 Keystone, Montana 3123 RL. So we have some changes to the model numbers this year. This used to be a 3121 RL for 2022. It's now a 3123 RL. Now, if you missed it, go check out my video where I did a comparison of the 2022 Montana with the 2023 Montana. It used this fifth wheel to show all the differences. So that is a separate video from this one where I'm not going to be going over the differences as in detail in this video as I will be just showing you what this fifth wheel here has to offer being a new 2023 Montana. So some of those differences will come up, but if you really want to see the comparison with images and visuals on the screen of the 2022 versus the 2023, go check out that video. The link will be down below in the description for that, and you can find that on my page. So that's all I got for y'all. Let's go ahead and get into this video. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, I'm super excited that you're here. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy. And if you do get something out of this video, consider hitting the like button down below and definitely hit that subscribe button as I upload new videos almost every single day of the week throughout the entire year and show a lot of never before seen RVs. So hit that subscribe button, and then if you didn't know, I am in a sales position, so I do not get paid by my company or by any manufacturers to make these videos. I do these on my own time in hopes of finding somebody like you that might be interested in purchasing this RV, and I would love to be a part of making that experience a memorable one for you. So you can go down to the first link down below in the description if you are interested in purchasing this RV, and you can leave me your contact information through that link there so that I can get in touch with you in helping you purchase this RV. That's all I got for y'all. Let's get into the video. I'm really excited to announce that we now have 100% Spanish-speaking RV tours online. Thanks to my father-in-law who now works with me, we've been making videos that are 100% in Spanish on his YouTube page. There's links down below in the description of this video to find those, or you can just search RVs con Luis and you will be able to find those pages there. He is also in a sales position, so if you or a family member speaks Spanish and would rather work with him, he is also here to help as well in regards to purchasing your RV. And if you or a family member would like to see tours of these RVs in Spanish, you now have access to those. So search RVs con Luis, go watch his videos there and subscribe to his channel. All right, y'all, so we are going to start with going to the inside first. Now, I know with going to the inside first, there's probably at least half of you, if not more than half of you, that do not care about the outside, which means you're probably gonna watch less than half of this video, which does not help this video get seen by more people on YouTube. So if you can help me out, make sure to hit the like button down below and definitely make sure you're subscribed to the channel and comment something down below in the comments that you either like or don't like about this RV. If you come across anything that you feel like it's worth commenting, and let me know your thoughts on what you think. Now, I do want to point out as well, this Montana that we are looking at has a legacy package on it. So that is going to be a nearly $8,000 package that is going to come with some different features. One of the biggest ones being disc brakes. Because in 2022, the legacy package with Montana, they did not have the disc brake option. Not because Montana has never done a disc brake on the legacy package, but because in 2022, there was such limited availability on the disc brakes that they decided not to go with the disc brakes for the 2022 models on the legacy package. So the legacy package for a 2023 Montana is a little bit more expensive, but it does come with the disc brakes on it now. You also have side and backup cameras already installed, an electric power cord reel, surge protector. Actually, you know what? This is all stuff on the outside. So if you want to see all the outside stuff, wait till we come back to the outside. Let me get on the inside. Okay, as soon as we come in, first of all, they got rid of the screen defender that was on the 2022 model. That's a little metal grate here that protects your screen door from being damaged from pets or kids or anything like that. This is something that you can still purchase to get added onto the RV. It is something that we have here in our parts department, but they did get rid of that just for cost reasons to try to keep the MSRP of the Montana in the exact same range that it was for 2022. Also want to point out your steps here, they are strut assisted. So you can see they stay up on their own there, so they're not going to fall down and hit your head or anything like that. And they do have these really convenient little mechanisms here that allow these to simply slide back and forth. Oh, I got to push on it. Plus, they have these little mechanisms here that allow these to slide back and forth without having to pull any pins out. So I do appreciate that as well, because sometimes those pins on the Lippert steps can be a little annoying to get in and out. This is a MORryde step above step. So different mechanism there with how those are adjusted. All right, as soon as we walk in, I love that you have these shelves right here. right when you walk in. They also have this PVC woven kind of carpet lining that they'll come with as well for some protection to the shelf there. But that there is going to be a great spot to put things that you want right away that you can easily get to from outside. Because this is a legacy package, it does have the touchscreen in command panel here. So that's going to be your touchscreen panel that is going to allow you to control all these different components of your RV from this panel here. And then this does link to your phone. So everything this does here, you can also control from your phone as well, including things like go to the HVAC, you can see the temperature in here. You can also see the temperature of the RV from your phone. Schedule your ACs to come on and off when you want and things like that. Let me close the door behind me and give you a quick look around. So many changes I'm really excited to talk about with y'all. But as you take a look around, I'll just give you like a full scope of everything here. Really beautiful looking fifth wheel. If you don't know, Montana has been the #1 selling luxury fifth wheel for the past 20 plus years in a row in the United States. And there are a lot of reasons why, but they make a very beautiful looking RV at a very affordable price range for how elegant and luxury this fifth wheel is. So we'll get into some of that in a little bit. But let's talk about a lot of changes. The first big one, and the reason this is no longer a 3121 and is now a 3123. So let's get into all these changes. And one of the first big ones, and the reason why this is no longer a 3121 RL and it is a 3123 RL, is because of this huge change here. So this used to be a kind of coffee bar area here and then your pantry there with a opening door, like a hinge door. This is now completely different. Go check out my Montana, or my 2022 Montana versus 2023 Montana video. There's a link down below in the description to see the visuals of all the differences with these. But you now have these sliding doors where you have your pantry on this side, LED lighting back here that shines back into that area. So you have all this pantry shelving space there. And then slide this across, and then you still have what would be all this additional pantry space here, or it is like a little coffee bar area, as you can see there, that you'll have as well. So this is giving you a new storage setup here in this area that you didn't have last year in the 3121. Definitely curious what your thoughts are on that when you close all this up. I think it looks really nice. This is like a glass door there on the pantry. So you can see kind of the look of that in the grand scheme of things with the way that this model looks. And I'm a big fan of it, but y'all let me know what you think. You do also have storage up above here. Definitely gonna need a step stool for most people to get up into that storage there. I mean, I'm 6'2" and I can reach up in there on my tippy toes, but even I would almost prefer a step stool to get up into that space. So you do have that storage up there. You have some manual controls here. So your heat pads, your 12-volt heat pads for your holding tanks. You have your freshwater, gray water, and black water tanks here, where these are going to be electric heating elements to keep your tanks from freezing when you are in below freezing temperatures and looking to transport your RV, or if you just want a little bit more protection in addition to your furnace that is keeping those warm. Some light switches, controls for your vent fan, or your vent fan there, and then your surge protector here. That is letting you know if your surge protector tripped, because this part of the legacy package has a built-in surge protector. So you do have a built-in surge protector as part of the legacy package. Your battery heat, so you flip this on because you now have two 100 amp hour lithium batteries on all 2023 models. This here is going to keep your batteries warm if they are charging in below freezing temperatures, as you're not supposed to charge lithium batteries in below freezing temperatures because it can damage them. Another thing I really love about Montana, your power controls for your inverter to turn your inverter on and off are inside the RV. Lots of brands will have this outside of the RV right next to the inverter, so you actually have to go out the steps here, outside to the front of the RV, get into your storage compartment up front, and then turn this on or off. Things that you will turn this on and off for are powering the refrigerator off of the inverter, and then this does have a 400 watt solar system, so you'll have some inverted outlets inside of here, including a lot of your outlets that are connected to TVs. So those can also run off of the inverter, which you need the inverter powered on for those outlets to be working. So really nice that you can do that from inside. So that is change number one though, with this pantry there, and then you do have the lithium batteries as another change for 23. The next change that is most noticeable right when you walk in, you have these different light fixtures from 2022 to 2023. So everything from everything up in this element up here, all the way down through the light fixtures here are all different for 2023, which also points me to you have a more modern looking ceiling fan in here as well versus the 2022. And then you have a brand new island design. Lots of different things to point out. First of all, you have this kind of curved design there, gives it a little bit more elegant finish. Shelving on the sides that you didn't have before, outlets in there, and then you have this kind of bezeled countertop there that looks really nice and kind of gives it a clean finish to it. Then looking deeper into the island, you now have a single basin sink. So Montana used to come with a dual basin sink. It was like a 70-30 type of thing here. And in addition to now having a single basin sink, you have this drying rack on top, plus you have another drying rack in the sink that it'll come with as well. So multiple different elements here that come with the sink, in addition to your solid surface covers here that you got last year on the 22 model. So those are still solid surface, and you do still have another one down underneath here that can be used to cover up that half of the sink to make this a full prep space. You also have a new countertop color design here where it's a very, very soft kind of gray texture that they work into there, but looks really nice, really clean. And then as we keep moving along, you can see the floor color is lighter than it was in the 2022 models, has more of a light gray instead of a dark gray look in a lot of ways. So a little bit lighter flooring. On this side here, you have all of your big windows looking out into your campsite. In your Montanas, you're always going to have, I shouldn't say always, because there were parts of 2022 where they did not come with a day shade because just limited supply of being available. But you now have the day and the night shade on all of your Montanas, so you get both of those shades there. And then those just snap back up like so. You have a little bit different valance finishes. Last year's model had some gray in there. Now it's all kind of a darker, like dark brown kind of wood finish to that. On your dinette table here, both of these chairs fold up. So this one here and this one there, they can be stored in the closet if you don't need them. And then you have the even nicer, more premium finished chairs back behind there. Your table here, it will flip up like so. You have a little bit of shallow storage underneath there, and then you do have a leaf that'll flip out like so, so you can extend the table space. And then you just pull these arms out right there. So if you just take these and pull those out, that leaf will sit on those arms there. And this is a legless table, so no legs underneath here that you're going to hit your legs on or your feet on. It is screwed into the frame there on the sidewall. So if you wanted to take this table out, you would just have to undo those screws there, and this table can come out if you want to put something different in this space. While I stay under here, you also have this little assist bar here that is going to hold your chairs in place while you're going down the road. And then you do also have some straps here that it'll come with as well to hold them in place. Montana does a PVC woven kind of carpet material in here. This is basically like an outdoor rug that you have here in your slide out box. So it looks really nice. I like it because it's just very, very flexible. It has a lot of give to it, so it's going to be really easy to just maneuver around and adjust with the space over time. And then this is a new color scheme versus what was in the 2022. So the colors are a little bit different than what was in the 22. Then you lift this up and you do have in your Montana models, get this under here. I don't know why my camera's not wanting to cooperate with me. There we go. Okay. You have a wrapped subflooring, and then way back in there you can see, oh, my camera keeps moving on me. And then down underneath this subflooring, definitely always make sure to show this. You have an astrofoil layer of insulation there, so that actually has the air pockets in there for an added layer of insulation, and you have a completely wrapped. So you have the astrofoil layer of insulation down underneath here. This actually has air bubbles in it, so it's not just a foil layer of insulation. It actually has the air pockets in it as well. And then you have a fully wrapped subflooring underneath there. So I only show this because if you do this in a lot of other brands, especially other brands at the same price point or even in a higher price point than Montana, you lift that up and you'll just see bare exposed wood down underneath there. So definitely make sure to show that Just a little difference that Montana does. Whether or not that's gonna make or break your experience in the RV, I don't know, but just wanna show you that because that is something where Montana does take the extra step to make sure that you have some added layers of protection to that subflooring and insulation as well. So that's pretty much everything in this area. Going to your recliners. These recliners are going to lay all the way back. They are electric recliners. All of your recline controls are right here. And these recliners here, we are not hooked up to power right now, but you can adjust the headrest and the backrest. So you have your backrest here, headrest there. You can tilt these forward and back, tilt this forward and back to give you the support that you want for how you want to lay there. And then you have your recline functions right there, plus a home button that takes everything back to this position that it's in right now as well. So you have that there for your recliners. Of course, these are directly across from your TV. You do also have, so this is going to be a 50-inch screen TV. You have your JBL sound system on it as well. Your JBL sound system is going to come with a mid-range speaker and a tweeter speaker, as well as the subwoofer that is back behind here. Now, because a lot of people, let me get this TV pulled out, because a lot of people have different sensitivities to bass volumes, you do have a gain knob back here, specifically for the subwoofer. You can also see this outlet the TV is plugged into is inverted, so you can run this when you are just, like the most practical thing I talk about with the inverted outlets and the 400-watt solar system that's on here is, let's say you're getting ready to go somewhere. And I mean, everybody's situation is different, I think, with my family, but like when we have our RV pulled up outside of our house getting ready to go on a trip, we can't do a whole lot unless we plug the RV in. Like the slide outs and the lights will work off the battery for a certain amount of time, but eventually the batteries are gonna die. With this here, with the 400-watt solar system, not only are your batteries not gonna die, but you can do things like have the TV on while you're just loading up your RV to go camping. Or you can plug stuff into the outlets like a phone while you're just setting up outside of your house, getting things packed in. Or if you stop at like a rest stop or anything like that, you can turn on the TV and stuff without having to be hooked up to power. So little things like that that the 400-watt solar system is going to offer you. Let's push this back in. Also, this TV is not on a televator, so it doesn't go up and down, because when you have a TV that goes up and down on a televator, that prevents you from being able to swivel it around at all. Plus, you lose a lot of the storage that you get back here with a function like that as well. So Montana opts not to go with the televator system there. Open this up. This is a huge storage space back behind here. New glass finishing for the 2023 Montanas. You can hear that's glass there. And then here back in this area, you have the same glass finish here. These are all going to be unobstructed all the way through. That storage goes all the way through there. And these are all soft close cabinets and soft close drawers. So soft close cabinet there, and you can see it is a soft close drawer as well. So you have that on all of your cabinetry in a Montana as well for 2023. Back in this area, nice big window along the back wall. Same thing, day and night shades on all these windows. Plus you have the valances that go all the way down the window here. Again, a lot of fifth wheels in this price range where you pull down this blackout shade and you still have light coming in through the side of the shade because there's no valance going down the window. So that's another difference with Montana, where they make sure when you have a blackout shade, it does actually black out all the light because you have these valances here to make sure no light is coming through the sides. So you have that all the way through, outlets and USB ports back in the corner here. And then you have, I think that's everything in this area. Let me look upwards real quick, where you have your Coleman Mach Q Series AC. So this is going to be a very quiet AC system. Still has the residential MERV 9 grade air filter in there. So that is going to keep not only your air cleaner in the RV, but also your ducting cleaner throughout the lifespan of the RV. And these blade AC vents here have been super successful. They have worked really well in keeping RVs cooler and getting them cooler quicker with how they push air out in a 360-degree motion. So you still have the blade AC vents in here as well. And then they are black in the Montana. I have not seen another fifth wheel RV that has black AC vents and black AC fixtures here. So that's another elegant touch to the Montana that is just different than the white ones that just for some reason don't look as nice. Now coming to the kitchen, a huge change here. I really geeked out about this when I was doing my 2022 versus 2023 Montana comparison. This is now the widest oven that you can get, the widest oven and the widest stovetop that you can get in an RV. I did not know that, but in the 2022 versus 2023 video, I actually measured from here to here on this model, on the Insignia 4-burner stove, and on the Suburban stove that was in Montana last year. This is 24 inches wide. The Insignia was 22 inches wide, and the Suburban was 22 inches wide. So this is actually 2 inches wider than any other oven out there right now that I have seen. Giving you a bigger cooktop there. Looks really, really nice, a really clean finish to it. You're gonna have a nice big wide oven. Now it is not as tall as the Insignia, because the Insignia, they opt to get rid of this storage underneath to make that a taller oven. So this gives you more width in the oven, and you still have a 2-rack system in there with multiple different spots to adjust that to. And then you still also get the storage down underneath here, where we can talk about some of these things. On the Montana, you do have the tire pressure monitoring system. This here is actually worked into the wheel of the tire that you have, or of the wheels that you have on the Montana. So it's not just a valve stem cap that you have on there. It is actually built into the wheel. And then it is built into the wheel for the spare tire. So Montana is the only brand that I know of in this price range that is also building this into the spare tire as well. So you do have that there. Side and backup cameras, it comes with the 7-inch monitor. This is part of your legacy package. So the legacy package will come with side and backup cameras. Soft close on that as well. 4 drawers here to the left of the oven. So you'll have those 4 there. Nice countertop space on both sides of the oven. They make this symmetrical. So you have countertop space on both sides, plus you don't have it too close to the wall here, so you're not making your walls all dirty and stuff like that while you're cooking. And then on both sides of this oven space, you have these pull-up outlets here that have both a USB Type-C port and a standard USB port there as well, and these are inverted also. So you have multiple different things that you can plug in there. Nice window back behind here, and you do have a new backsplash design on this Montana as well. Coming over here, storage next to the microwave. This is all pretty much the same. You have nice big storage on both sides. They got rid of the spice rack. So the 2022 Montanas had a spice rack in here that pulled out. They did get rid of that, and now you just have storage back in there. Convection oven microwave combo in here, and this is a residential size. And then looking at the price, your MSRP on this one here is at $143,213. But that does include the legacy package with the disc brakes, which is $7,875. So $7,875 for that legacy package. Now this is not the sales price here. So if you are interested in this RV, I am in a sales position, and I would love to personally help you out in assisting you in making this RV yours. All I have right now is the MSRP price. This thing just got in here. I do not know what the sales price is, and a lot of y'all have commented, or some of y'all have commented in the videos before, like, oh, how are you going to show an RV and you don't even know the price? It's like, I don't know. I literally don't know the price until I go into my computer system for a customer and create a proposal and see what my management team will let me sell the RV for. I do not know exactly what the price will be. So it's going to be much lower than the MSRP. It's usually probably going to be somewhere in like the 110 to 120 range, I would imagine. I don't know exactly, but you're usually getting at least like 20, 30 grand off the MSRP on a Montana. So something around there. But you can contact me. I would love to help you out in making this RV yours and getting you a great deal on this Montana, plus making sure that you have a great buying experience. One thing I don't talk about enough in my videos is just things that we do here at Holiday World. One being, like, we have a campground in the back corner of our lot here where you can actually stay in this RV for a day or two before you take it home. You can make sure you're comfortable with it, make sure you understand everything that you're doing, and make sure everything works properly before you actually start camping in it or living in it or anything like that. And then if you are living in it, you can actually stay in our campground if you ever have to bring your RV back for service, as opposed to having to get a hotel or finding family to stay with while you're getting service work done on your RV, if this is also your home that you live in. So those are some huge things that we do here. We just had a customer here that had a trade-in the other day that we all stayed an hour late to help make sure he got set up in our campground properly and things like that. So we definitely go the extra mile to make sure you have a great experience. And I want to make sure that Through purchasing your RV, you get a great price and a great experience all in one. So you can text me at the number on the screen, or there's a link down below in the description to send me your contact information so we can help make this RV yours. All right, last thing too, we do have a bunch of 2022 models that are still available. You will definitely get a more aggressive price on the 2022 models because we do need those gone. So keep that in mind too. If you are looking to get the best deal, you're kind of in that time where there's a lot of 2022s that are significantly marked down. We're literally making basically no money to sell you these 2022 models. So that's a great deal that you have there available as well if you want a 2022 model. Okay, as we keep going, let's look at the storage down here next to the oven. That goes down under there. And then open this up and you have your spot there for different utensils. Plus this here goes in the refrigerator door to hold that closed. Do want to point out you do have the same slide out mechanism here as far as the carpet goes. So there's a lot of models that in the kitchen area here, they do have those like toe stumping type of platforms that stick out. So you do not have that on the Montana. Have your shelving here in the island as well with an outlet on this side of the island. So outlets here, outlet there, and outlets on both sides of the island. Refrigerator, this is a GE refrigerator. Biggest thing that I like about the GE refrigerator is that you have a water dispenser here inside. And then you do have the ice maker down in there as well with a 2-shelf system. All right, that is everything in the living area here. Don't think I missed anything, just trying to double check and make sure. Yep, that looks good. Grab handle here as you're coming in and out of the door. Open this up, we already saw that, and then this doesn't open up. You have a coat hanging hooks right here to hang some coats, and then you have your pin board and a spot for keys as soon as you walk in. You do have a central vac system in here, so you can hook up your central vac hose into this port there. And then you do have the floor sweep mechanism here, so you can get rid of your dustpan forever, as you will just sweep any dust, debris, pet hair, anything up into that step, and it'll suck it right up in there. Grab handle going up the step, and then you have your crown molding with the LED lighting that goes all the way up through the hallway there. So again, nice solid hardwood crown molding in here that gives it a more elegant finish as well. Coming into the bathroom, they didn't do a whole lot of changes to the bathroom for 2023. So you still have the same look and design in here in a lot of ways. The biggest difference is this space right here. You do have a little cubby under here now that has a waste bin that it will come with. And then this storage extends back further than it did in the previous year model. And you have more storage here in the bathroom. So they increased the storage pretty significantly. You have a fiberglass one-piece shower, so no seams anywhere in the shower. It is all fiberglass one piece. And as I step in here, again, I'm about 6'2", so when I come in here, my head is probably about 1.5 to 2 inches away from here. So I would say this is about 6'4", and then you have another 2 to 3 inches in here. So you could be at least 6'4" and comfortably fit in here, and then probably up into 6'5", 6'6" to fit in the skylight. This height does adjust on here, plus the tilt of this will adjust as well, I'm pretty certain. And then this here, you do have an on and off there, so you can kill the water coming out of there without having to adjust the temperature. And then this here, as it's currently sitting, there we go. If I get it to stand up straight, that's sitting right at about the peak of my forehead. And then if you tilt it down, I would have to duck under it a little bit. So pretty decent space in here. It's definitely not bad at all. You do have the seat in there that is molded in, and then that is not going to have any seams in it. You have a nice big mirror in your bathroom. Again, the bowl sink there. Really nice, elegant touch. The black faucet. Storage shelves all to the right. Spot to hang your washcloths and towels. Then you have 4 drawers, really deep as far as those go back. And then storage down underneath here. So that is everything in your bathroom, plus you have outlets there. Controls for your max air vent fan. Do want to point out they have the expensive vent fan in here, not the cheap one. This is the good, nice one that you have in the bathroom. Oh, and you have a speaker in here. So you have another third zone of your speaker system here just for the bathroom. So you can do shower karaoke back in here as well with that speaker that you have in the bathroom. Going back into this area, you have your king size bed. The pillow on that couch right there is actually supposed to be in here on the bed. I just forgot to move it. But you have a king size bed in here. Montana does have options for a queen, but we pretty much always order them with a king. You do have a framed in TV. So this is another difference with Montana, where a lot of models in a similar price range or lower price range, or even sometimes higher price range, just have the TV on the wall. This one is actually framed in to give it a better look and finish to it. And then I really, really like what they did last year with this shelf system, where you have the shelves up over the window so you don't hit your head on them while you're sleeping. Outlets and USB ports here next to that shelf. And then you have some of the coolest above the bed lighting systems that you can see in an RV, where you have this ambient ring light that you get there and a directional reading light. So you have both of those. Again, balances down your windows as well on the sides. And then this here, a lot of other brands, again, in a similar price range or even a higher price range, are just gonna have a standard puck light here that you just push the button on, kind of like these here. These aren't even ones with a button on them because these have a light switch. But a lot of brands just have a standard puck light just like that right there. And Montana gives you a directional reading light and the ambient light as well. Of course, you have storage underneath the bed. That's all framed out as well, so it looks nice. You can see your central vac hose as well that it comes with. Now, on this side of the bed, you have another outlet here back in the closet, so you can plug things in there. Nice shelving system through here, and then you do have a hamper area as well that is built in. Clothing rod along the top. This is a motion activated light, so you can just leave that on all the time and it will just turn on when you open the door. Same thing back in here as well with the light in here. Clothing rod up there, and then you do have a spot for a stackable washer and dryer if you wanted to put a washer and dryer in here as well. Have 6 drawers here. These will all be the same size. Again, everything is soft close on all of those. Outlet down here as well, plus an outlet behind the TV. Second AC in the bedroom. Again, MERV 9 grade air filter in here with your AC vents. And then they did give you a different door design for 2023. Yeah, this sliding pocket door, really nice colors, looks good with the black accents. And that is pretty much everything in your bedroom. So I'll walk back out real quick, give you one last look, and then we will go outside. So one last look into this area. And this is also, just so you know as we walk out, this is Montana's shortest fifth wheel option. And as we walk outside, I want to point out real quick, because a lot of people get this confused as well. We are looking at a Montana. Montana also has the Montana High Country line. Now the High Country right here is their like $20,000 less expensive model. So this is like their trimmed down version of a Montana that gets it in an even more aggressive price range. So we are looking at Montana's top of the line model here that they make. And this here, again, has the legacy package on it. So you have the side cameras that are on here. You have the side cameras plus the backup camera. You can see the legacy badge on there. So you have the legacy package. Open this up, and really, really big storage space down underneath. This is absolutely huge. You could sleep 2 grown adults in here. This thing is so big. So you have this huge space back in here. This is your surge protector that is built in as part of the legacy package as well. New flooring color that you have back in this area as well. It was a much darker gray last year, so they lightened up the color in there, and this is a really rugged, strong material there that you have as far as the finish on that flooring. Spot for a TV here to hook up a TV that you could set up in this area if you want to, that you could see from out here. And then you have your AC inverter prep. So if you wanted to add another inverter just to power the AC, it is prepped already for all the wiring to add another inverter that would power one AC inside the RV. You have your in-command system here. This is part of the touchscreen control panel. Because it is all touchscreen controls, all of your wiring for all of those controls is in this access panel here. It's all color coordinated and labeled, and you have a legend on the other side of this panel that indicates where everything goes for that touchscreen control panel. This is climate controlled as well, so you do have heat and cold air coming into here as well. And then slam latch doors. This latch here is what holds that open. You do have a magnet latch on the other side, plus the pin on this side, and then those just slam shut. 30-pound propane bottles on each side of the fifth wheel. I think, why is this? Oh, there we go. I don't know why it didn't want to open for me. There you go, 30-pound propane bottle there. Slam latch doors up front, so you can see here, this is a 2022 Montana 3781 RL that has the metal latches there. Kind of annoying because you have to hold the door closed with one hand, twist the latch with another. If you have something in your hands while you're trying to do it, it's not super convenient. This is a slam latch door for the 2023s. And then open this space up, you have a huge storage space down underneath here. Two 100 amp hour Dragonfly lithium batteries that it comes with standard. So those are already hooked up in that, or underneath that black box right there. So two 100 amp hour lithium batteries, nice and easy, just slam that door closed. You can see your battery connections back in here. Plus your battery disconnect switch, everything nice and organized in what is called a Gigi box from Keystone. So everything is nice and organized back behind that panel for your battery disconnect, where you can turn that to power off and it will just kill all the power to your batteries. So you don't have to go through and make sure you turned off each individual light and stuff like that if you're wanting to preserve your batteries. Road Armor pin box. So this has the really thick, like 1 inch, 1.5 inch rubber bushing here. It's probably about 1 inch. And your rubber bushing there is going to absorb a lot of that chucking. As you brake and accelerate, this head will pivot and absorb a lot of that. So it will make it a smoother ride experience for you. Have this light right here that will shine down into the space to help see what you're doing in darker conditions. And then you have the big hitch plate here. So as you're backing your truck up, you can see how your hitch is aligning with the pin box there. Really nice looking front cap. Everything is the same for the exterior colors for the 2023 Montana versus the 2022. As you can see, the 2022 here next to us. But it still looks really beautiful, really nice looking. And I think it's very on brand for what Montana is. But y'all let me know what you think down below as well. Again, you have your legacy badge right there. And then up underneath here, I mean, super, super solid feeling. This is like a kind of plastic material down underneath here and nicely finished off all along the sides and everything. So it's not just wrapped or anything. This is like a solid plastic material. Schwintek slide mechanisms on your smaller slide out boxes, and then you have the hydraulic rack and pinion style slides on your bigger slide out boxes. Open this door up. You have all your water connections down underneath here. So you can hook up your hot and cold water for a shower, another plug for a solar panel there, even though you do have 400 watts of solar on the roof already. You have your city water, freshwater connections, and your winterizing fluid connections, and then your pulled valves for your black and gray tank. On this side here, you have a 30 amp solar charge controller. If you want to expand upon the solar system, you do have prep here to add another solar charge controller. So that is going to be part of the 400 watt solar system there. This is monitoring the charge from your solar panels going to the batteries, letting you know how long until your batteries are charged, information like that. And it can all be downloaded through the app that you just scan that QR code to get. Oh, and you have your surge protector here for both your outlets inside the RV and then your refrigerator. Another big change for 2023, you have a 16-gallon gas electric water heater. So most brands from Keystone, in fact, all brands from Keystone except Montana are going to a tankless on-demand water heater. And this is coming, Montana, with a 16-gallon gas electric water heater. Now, the reason that Montana is doing this, from as best as I understand, with the tankless water heater, yes, theoretically, you have unlimited hot water, but you really don't, because as soon as you run out of propane, you no longer have a heating element. Your propane is the heating element on a tankless water heater. So on this option, you get a huge 16-gallon tank that is going to heat that hot water, and you do have a propane and an electric heating element. So you can preserve your propane, not use as much propane to heat up your water, and it is a 16-gallon tank. So it is going to take you a long time to run through 16 gallons of hot water. So that is something that is a big, big change for 2023 as well, with that 16-gallon gas electric water heater. Part of the legacy package, you have the power cord reel. So this is an electric reel here that your 50 amp power cord is on, so you don't have to figure out where you're going to store that. Then you have your black and gray tank dump valve right there as well, with this light here that is going to make sure you can see what you're doing. 10-inch drop frame on your Montana. So this is the drop frame there that gives you the nice big storage up front here, making this a true full profile fifth wheel. And then you have your sewer storage hose area right here where you can store your sewer hose. Down underneath here, everything is wrapped and enclosed underneath your underbelly. So all your water tanks and water lines will sit above this enclosed portion, above the insulation, so that your water tanks and water lines don't freeze. And whenever your furnace is running, they are in the same cavity as your furnace, so they will be getting heat from that. Then you have your disc brakes as part of the Legacy package. So disc brakes now coming on the Legacy package. That is a huge addition, something that I know a lot of people really care a lot about. So you do have the disc brake option on Montanas. Any Montana with a Legacy package will have the disc brakes on it in 2023. Road Armor suspension package. So this Road Armor suspension is giving you one of the best suspensions coming out of a factory. This here is going to have 6 inches of travel, so 3 inches up and 3 inches down. And that there is better than any other system out there as far as stuff that usually comes standard on an RV, as most only have 3 inches of travel. And you can see on the video on the screen kind of the comparison between that one and other suspension systems out there and how well this one does at mitigating any shakiness. Tire pressure monitoring system built into all your tires, as well as your spare tire down underneath there. And then you have a 6-point hydraulic auto leveling system, so you can see your hydraulic legs there. 6-point hydraulic auto leveling. Another thing is part of the Legacy package, you have this rear fiberglass front cap, or back cap, sorry. So you have this fiberglass back cap here. You can see like this Montana here does not have that molded fiberglass back cap. This Montana with the Legacy package does. So that gives it a more like elegant finish and look to it, and just improves the design. Plus this is like a more solid material back here as well. You do have a 3,000-pound towing hitch, I'm pretty sure. Yep, 3,000-pound towing hitch down underneath here. So you can tow off of this hitch here. Brake and reverse lights. And you have your backup camera up there as well. 2 awnings on the outside, so awning on this slide out and awning up front. LED lights underneath your awnings as well, so whether your awnings are in or out, you do get use of those LED lights. And then let's get up on the roof real quick. All right, up here on the roof, you have the Coleman Mach Q Series ACs. So one here, one there. The AC units are white, which whether or not this is gonna make a big difference in your camping experience, I don't know. But comparing it to like black AC units, I don't know, something about it to me just feels like they're not gonna absorb as much heat and will be more efficient, but I don't know exactly. You have 2 220-watt solar panels, so 440 watts of solar in total that are hooked up here. And then in addition to that, you also have another plug here already prepped in. So if you wanted to add more solar, it would just plug in right there. All the prep work on any Keystone RV that has a 400-watt solar package is done to expand upon that solar package. So prep work for the inverter up front, the solar charge controller up front, and your panels up top, all of the wiring work is already prepped in any Keystone RV that has a 400-watt solar package. So that is a huge deal as well. Then you have your Winegard Air 360 digital antenna. So this is an omnidirectional antenna that is going to work with like your over-the-air TV, and then if you want to get a Wi-Fi router installed, that also is where all the wiring would connect to from inside the RV for your Wi-Fi router. And that's pretty much everything. Let's hop down. All right, y'all, I believe that's just about everything. So again, this is the 2023 Keystone Montana 3123 RL. And if you are interested in this RV, again, I am in a sales position, so I would love to personally help you out in making this RV yours. So you can text me at the number on the screen, or there's a link down below in the description where you can send me your contact information. And I would love to help you out in purchasing this RV and getting you all the purchasing information to help you make this RV yours. So reach out to me there. I would love to hear from you and help you make this RV yours. And that's all I got for y'all. Until next time, I'll see you out camping.